What is up, everybody, and welcome back to an episode of Ford Era. Today we are here in New Smyrna Beach, Florida. We got Bobby. We're at Heavy Metal Fab. Bobby, what the truck?
Well, it's a 2023 Ford Shelby, and
dude, this is wild.
My customer pretty much told me to show him what I could do with it.
I mean,
and he wanted one of one, and
I think you achieved that. I mean, this thing, honestly, like, I'm at a loss for words because it's just so gigantic. And I love it because it literally, to me, it's like a 2023 version of Bigfoot. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
It's a real truck, not just a fiberglass body with a bunch of cool roll cage underneath. But like, could you walk me through front to back? What all did you do to make this? Because like, I don't think the people looking understand. These bars are solid billet aluminum. I don't even know how big these shocks are. I mean, this is pretty new to me, but I just wanted to show it because this is one of the craziest Ford trucks I've ever seen.
Yeah, the link bars are all 70 series, and sway bar arms and sway bar links, steering tie bar, anything that was structural as far as the billet is all 70 series. Even the hubs, those are billet hubs that we made.
Crazy. How long was this build?
It took us, I'd say, right around 8 to 9 months.
Wow.
And it's just my wife and I, that do it out here. But like I've said, I've got a good group of guys that help us out.
Dude, that exhaust is so cool. I love how you guys color matched a little bit of the bottom of the engine to kind of tie it in.
Yeah, yep.
Tell me the story with these shocks.
They are 24-inch travel, 3.0 big shocks, Pro Series. Of course, you got one's a coilover, and the other one's a reverse accumulator nitrogen shock. And we want to do that to kind of spice it up a little bit instead of just running one shock per corner, Kind of gives a little more attitude.
What exactly size are these wheels and tires?
Those are 23 130s, and it's our new brand that we've come out with. My buddy that owns Bigfoot Military Tires, Ronnie. The name of the tires are rattlesnakes, and so yeah, we sell quite a few of those.
How big is that rim?
That's a 30-inch rim, 30 diameter, 25 wide.
30 by 25, oh my gosh. That is so cool. So one of the things that I think is pretty crazy is how you mounted all of your aluminum. Like, you don't see any of the hardware exposed, which is so nice.
Yeah. Yep, one of the main things I wanted to do on this was make it to where you didn't see the hardware.
So when you go into building something like this, do you like fully sketch every single piece of this out? Because like, I mean, is this CNC'd steel?
Yes.
Wow. Yeah, because that's countersunk into it. Dude, that drop box is serious.
Yeah, that's a 30-inch Profab. And Larry with Profab's always been really good to us. A couple years ago, I had him design that case because all they made was a 21-inch case, and then when we built my truck, I had to make me a 36-inch drop, which is even bigger than that. And some of the other transfer case companies, the biggest that they made was a 24 at the time, and there were guys who were like, man, a 36 is too much and a 24 isn't going to be quite enough. So I reached out to Larry and I had him design a 30-inch case, and it worked really well for this setup.
And tell me about the axle setup for the people that don't really know what they're looking at.
Those are 5-ton axles, and then the outers are a Meritor outer. It's a planetary, and unfortunately you can't see the end of it because of our caps that we have over it. But it's basically the same bolt pattern as a 5-ton. It's just the end of the hub is bigger because it has planetary gear inside it, planetary gears, and it just helps out, you know, when you're running a bigger tire like this on a 5-ton.
Dude, that fuel cell, bitchin'. This whole thing is
that's
wild
actually a one-off fuel cell. Because this is a 150, not very many people are doing the fuel cells for these trucks. You know, typically it's for the Super Duties, and so Travis and Jason with JFab actually had to build that one off. I brought it over here, made sure it fit, and then they finished welding it up. We had to shorten the fuel cell about 8 inches.
Okay.
Just so it wouldn't get into the transfer case up there. And you can see if you go up there and look, pretty tight tolerances in between the transfer case and the
Wow.
fuel cell.
Oh yeah. Dude, this is so cool. And then I'm assuming under the hood, interior, it's pretty stock Shelby.
Yes, the interior stock, except for where we put the rear steer control. And I believe underneath the hood is pretty much stock. I don't really know much about what they've done to it performance-wise, you know. But other than that, we did have to take, these trucks come with an electric steering setup, and we had to take and put a hydraulic pump on it, and kind of, you know, a little bit of, you know, reinvent the wheel. A lot of other shops are realizing these newer trucks, you know, that you've got to do a setup like that. And you know, so that's about all I know about underneath the hood.
There you go. And a lot of people back in the day, you would literally climb up the tread of the tires, but you always put on yours these really cool little elevator steps, or what do you call them?
They're hydraulic steps. And I built my first set on my previous truck about 9 years ago, and it was so that my dad could ride with us. He's handicapped and he couldn't get in and out of the truck, and you know, trying to go up a ladder and stuff just wouldn't work for him. And so I came up with the steps to run him up and down.
Could you show them with your remote? Because I think it's the coolest
yeah,
little
let me
thing.
get the remote.
So as you can see, you got this massive step, and then over here you got the hydraulic ram right behind it. So then, whenever you want to go up and down, you have this little cool remote, and then boom, it starts to move. See? So you got that remote, and then bam. What I think is the coolest is that your buddy Rick built this for his wife.
Yes.
That is so rad. Because that's also how you get to build yourself a better truck. Because you're like, babe, look, we got your truck out the way.
Yeah.
But I have to show them inside?
Sure.
So one thing I learned, because I already hopped up in here, you got to hold on for a second if you're not used to it. That is so cool. So as you can see, this is a brand new Shelby, and everything carbon fiber. You got the beautiful Shelby seats, and then this is the rear steer busted knuckle controller that he was talking about. That's crazy. You have all the visibility too. And then I'm gonna sit this time, because if you're not used to how these things go, they're pretty scary.
All right, ready?
I'm ready. Oh. Still got me too. A lot better than climbing tires though. Man. This is wild to me. I absolutely love it. I just love that there's still people out there that are awesome. But now that we're here and we're already talking about some of the Fords, we should probably show them your truck a little bit.
Sure.
This is how me and you met.
Yep.
Brought this thing
Now,
out
granted,
to Don Garlett's.
it's not as pretty because it's been together for 8 years, and I've had this thing buried in some deep stuff to where you can't even tell the color of the truck.
Really?
Yeah. Yep.
Dude. Those tires are about as tall as I am. Look at that. About 6 foot tall tires. Man. One of these days, So basically, the two of these trucks are very similar, except that's got a lot of really prettiness going on. But as far as capability-wise, like they're built almost to the same capabilities, or?
Yeah, the axles on this, the center chunks are the same. It's 5-ton centers, but these are Clark planetary outers. Just like what they run on the monster trucks and stuff, you know, back in the day. And but yeah, anything that comes out of our shop, I don't care how pretty it is, it's built to withstand some abuse.
I can't wait to see them take that thing in the mud.
Yeah, it won't be till after SEMA though.
Yeah, I mean, you don't want to have to clean that thing. I just can't wait to see it. I always find it the craziest about the bog community is like they'll literally build stuff that beautiful and then just go thrash it and power wash it back off and then go thrash it some more.
Yeah, yep.
It's a good time. What's the plans with this Superduty?
This is for a buddy of mine down in West Palm. He owns Diamond Diesel, and we're going to go pretty radical on this. It's going to get a bunch of aluminum frame plate overlays, and let's see if I can unwrap this without too much trouble. Let me get some cutters. I'll cut those zip ties. I'm going to show you those axles. We like to make sure we keep everybody's stuff covered up while we're not working on it.
It's only right.
Just so the weather and stuff doesn't get to it, or like when we're painting things.
Oh wow, all fabricated.
Yeah.
Dang.
Yeah, so like I said, we're going pretty crazy on this setup.
Oh dude, that's gonna be so
and
cool.
it all unbolts. And for the guys in the mud truck industry, they'll know what I'm talking about, but on the bottoms of these, what we call the bowl, the pumpkin, on this particular set, we're going to make it removable. So that if you have to work on the axle or anything, you don't have to take it, you know, if you have to work on the chunk, you don't have to take everything apart. You can access the carrier from underneath. It'll come down, for lack of better explaining,
right
like
now
an oil
it's
pan.
like a 9-inch in a way where you have to remove the center chunk to get to it.
Correct.
You're trying to make it more like a 14 bolt.
Correct. Yes.
That's awesome.
Yes. Yep. Yeah, my buddy Brian over in R&D Concepts that does all my billet work and everything, we're going to come together on making the pieces to where it's going to have an O-ring. It's going to be studded just like the top where the chunk bolts in, you know. And so yeah, it ought to be pretty trick when we're done.
That's going to be really cool. In my head, I'm trying to figure out how you're going to top this build ever. Full polished stainless bros exhaust, or stainless works exhaust.
Yeah,
I mean,
and all the
like,
bolts, if you notice, all the bolts on the build are all Allen heads.
And
you know,
they're
every
like
one of them.
2 inches. Like, dude, what? Like that has to be from some crazy industry, like oil rigging or something. Because like I've never seen hardware that big. I love that he got a big old Made in USA on it too. That's so cool. So all the steel plates.
Everything's all been CNC milled.
I love how you're running everything too. So nice and tight. It's literally just you and your wife knocking everything out.
Yes.
That is so awesome.
Yeah, and like I said, I've got a group of guys. You know, one of my best friends does all my powder coat, Justin with Powder Coat Concepts, and then you know Jason and Travis at JFab. You know, basically what happens is I draw all this stuff up or make cardboard templates. And
old school CAD, cardboard aided design.
Yes, yes. and it actually works out pretty cool. I'll get it all drawn up and I'll take it over to Travis at JFab, and he's a wizard at drawing stuff and making it 3D. So he takes my crazy cardboard stuff, turns it into something 3D to where we can flip it around, look at it and stuff like that. And then he sends that file off to Brian, and Brian does all the machine work. The only thing on this that Brian designed himself, because he wanted to make sure that he had a part in it, was he designed the link bars.
They're beautiful. To me, it reminds me of like trophy truck, like desert race.
Yeah.
Because they always have those really cool billet arms.
Yes.
Yeah, this is insane. The detail on everything is what I love too. Because like a lot of these rigs are built in a backyard, which there's nothing wrong with that. Hey, this is a backyard.
This is a backyard.
Yeah, I was gonna say this is a backyard.
This is a pole barn.
But you know, when you see the difference in quality, it's amazing. I mean, even capping the ends, that's so crazy cool. You really have to think this thing through. Wow.
Yeah, a lot of my ideas come in about 2 o'clock in the morning while I'm laying in bed, you know.
Well, I think we pretty much showed them all of it. Let them know where they can go to check you out if they're interested in seeing all the fun.
You can look me up on my Instagram. It's Heavy Metal 7460, or my personal page, Bobby Brown. If you type in heavy metal, it'll give you the option of Bobby Brown. I do have a heavy metal page. I don't get on that very often. But yeah, either one of those 3 socials you can find me on.
Well, I really appreciate you giving me the time, letting me show this to everybody.
Well, I appreciate you coming up and taking the time to walk around it and take some pictures of it.
I love it. This is what I literally love to do, is get to see the coolest stuff. I mean, now you're gonna make me wanna kind of fly out to Texas in a couple weeks when you guys are gonna have it out there and see it front and center in that bar you were telling me about. Like,
yep.
This is gonna be amazing. So you guys, if you want to follow along and see all the fun stuff they're going to get into, check out her socials. If you like videos like this, make sure to smash the subscribe button and drop a comment. Let me know, what do you think about this? Is it too crazy? Is it not crazy enough? We'll see you in the next one.